Hi, Sean.
I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes. A great host. Show is great. Listen to his show.
Absolutely, 95.5.
One mic.
Shelley Winter Show live, local, topical, and relevant, my friends. Let's talk about these Supreme Court cases. Got a lot to talk about tonight. You do not, trust me, you do not want to move 1 inch from your radio dial tonight, ladies and gentlemen. First case, birthright citizenship. Let's talk about it. I'm completely okay with this ruling. I am. I have no problems with it. There's a picture going around. It just went viral again. It didn't. I can't say again. It was famous in 1984. President Reagan talked about it, and this is what he said. Many of us have seen the picture of another worker here, a tool belt around his waist, balanced on a narrow metal rod of scaffolding, leaning over to place a kiss on the forehead of Miss Liberty. Tony Sirachi, the grandson of immigrant Italians, said it was something he was proud to do, something to tell my grandchildren. Reagan went on to say, we're bound together because like them, we too dare to hope. Hope that our children will always find here the land of liberty in a land that is free. At the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, me being a New Yorker, the Statue of Liberty means a lot to me. At the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, the inscription reads, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuge of your teeming shore, send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. That's the poem. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. That is the poem, but the quote, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Since the French sent us that Statue of Liberty, the original French intention was about freedom and the bonds of slavery being broken, but it evolved into American symbolism, a guiding beacon welcoming travelers to a new life in America. That hasn't changed, my friends. Now, it may have changed for many of you because you want to get lost in the words of the Constitution, but the fundamental freedom of this country and the welcoming arms of this country have not changed. Maybe the people have changed, and maybe that's what the problem is. Don't go there, Shelley. Stay with the point. But America as a welcoming country has not changed. So yes, just like an Italian grandmother pregnant on the ship coming from southern Italy to the shores of New York, getting into Ellis Island, going to Prince Street in Greenwich Village or Little Italy, what became Little Italy, yes, she could have dropped a baby and that baby would have been a U.S. citizen. Yes, a Guadalajaran mother could come here and drop a baby in Georgia and that baby will be a citizen. That's the way it's always been. And that's what the Supreme Court ruled. Yes, it can happen. Yes, a Mexican woman can come here for 30 minutes, drop a baby, and that baby's a citizen. That's the way it's always been. It hasn't changed. You can't change it because you don't like the people coming now. Or you can't change it because you think we're too full. That's the way it's always been. And good for the Supreme Court to rule the way in which they did. But it's funny to me to watch conservatives scream and yell about this ruling. But for the last 50 years, all we have screamed is we're a country of law and order. Well, this is the Constitution. This is the law, the Supreme Court, the law of the land. This is what they ruled. What are we mad at? Because it didn't go our way? How did it not go our way? They interpreted the Constitution the way they interpreted the Constitution. You can't be happy. You see, it sounds to me like people are getting upset. It's like an election. Democrat wins, cheating went on. Republican wins, nothing to see here. This happens all the time. And I'm really, because I'm a conservative, I always saw my side as being the strong side. You ever saw Remember the Titans? Strong side? I always saw my conservative friends and my conservative policies and ideologies as being the strong side. And if we lose an election, we lost an election. We do an autopsy and we go back and try and win again. We don't scream, you cheated. I always saw my conservative side when the Supreme Court makes a ruling, it makes a ruling. You can't jump up and down and scream, yeah, look at the Supreme Court, yeah, Trump, 6-3, yeah, let's do it. And then when they rule against you, oh my God, we need to get rid of all of them. That's childish. I've never seen anything like it. From the people who not very long ago told me I'm drinking your liberal tears, now crying about everything that they lose. It is the most amazing transformation I've ever seen in my life. I get it if you don't like the ruling. I get it. I know a lot of conservative friends of mine that don't like the ruling. But one thing about the adult conservatives in the room is they understand the thinking behind the ruling. Like, I don't agree with it, but okay, it's the Supreme Court. But they're not ready to get rid of everybody. They're not calling John Roberts the enemy. They're not saying that all the women on the Supreme Court need to go. We can't win elections like that. We're the crybabies right now. I used to be in a party where they would scream at people, stop being a victim. Stop being a victim. And now every conservative I know, when something goes against you, you cry like little girls. Literally. On Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, you cry like little girls. I've never seen anything like it. From a party that just a few short years ago put their chest out as how they were right on everything. Now when you take an L, it's the worst thing ever. Get rid of them. I mean, at this point, we've taken so many L's from the Supreme Court, we should have nobody left if we got rid of everybody that ruled against us. It's the most incredible transformation I've ever seen of a movement. It's not individual people. This is a movement. We lose an election, everybody cheated. We win an election, nobody says anything. Like, if elections are flawed and there's cheating in elections, if you win, you have to assume you cheated, based on the logic of all elections being flawed. But we've got to get out of it. We can't be like this as a party. We can't. Because you know why? Because they're moderates and independents. A large number of voters are now independent. And they're looking at our behavior. I'm not talking about the Democrats here. I'm talking to my side. I don't care about the Democrats. I'm talking to my side. They're looking at us and say, whoa, wait a minute. So everything that goes against you is somehow making you a victim and it's all unfair and you're being targeted because you're a conservative? That's what we're acting like. Children. Wah! I've never seen anything like it. They made a ruling. I don't necessarily disagree with it. No skin off my back. No one's replacing me. Is that the issue? 404-872-0750. 1-800-WSB Talk. I'm going to break down the other two rulings when we come back. It's the Shelley Winter Show. Live, local, relevant, and a bit controversial. We'll be right back.